Hello, my name is Ray Salazar, and this is Morning Reel, 3 to 4, 200 minute or so podcast of films that I review from the 4th of July to Halloween to Thanksgiving to the day of Christmas. Merry Christmas. Today I'm excited to review the film Jingle All the Way. It is a 1996 American Christmas family comedy film starring Arnold Schwarzenegger, Sinbad, Phil Hartman, who this was his last movie before he passed away, for those who know. Rita Wilson, who is Tom Hanks' wife, Robert Conrad, Jake Lloyd, and Jim Belushi, who plays a Santa Claus, who's a scummy Santa Claus, but he's great because, hey man, everybody got to get their buck, right? And this film was directed by Brian Levin, written by Randy Cornfield, cinematography by Victor J. Kemper, edited by Ken Beta, Wilton Henderson, and Adam Weiss. Wow. Music by David Newman. Production companies 1492 Pictures, Family Fox Films, distributed by 20th Century Fox. This film was released first on November 16th at the Mall of America. Crazy, right? And later released in the whole United States on November 22nd. This film grossed $129.8 million. A lot of money from a $75 million budget. Gotta make a profit, man. Always gotta make a profit. This film is very simple. I saw this film when I was 6 years old, and it's my favorite Christmas film of all time. Now, Christmas is not my favorite time of year. I would say Thanksgiving or the period between Halloween to Thanksgiving. Weird, right? I saw this film when it came out, 1996. I was 6 years old. Saw it at the AMC Burbank. I forget which one specifically, but the one with the biggest screen. So, if you know, you know. I certainly do not. And I love this film, man, because this film is about the consumerism of Christmas. Toys, materialism, people storming the stores just to get a not only just a toy, but like, to get the discount, dude. We love discounts. Americans love discounts. I sure do, even to this day, right? Even though this film is not really specifically about the consumerism, but it's about making your kid happy, right? This dad, who's a businessman played by Arnold Schwarzenegger, is just so busy to attend to his family life, right? Because he's so busy making money. They live in Minnesota, probably in the Twin Cities part of Minnesota. Colton, if you're listening to this, shout out to Minnesota, man. Like, it's very nice. The way they shoot Minnesota, just rather the way they shoot the atmosphere of, of winter, of Christmas. Everything's all white, snowy. People suggest you put chains on your tires because it gets icy at certain parts of the day. Crazy. This is something that me as a Californian, and especially as a kid, I just didn't understand, because we didn't have that type of life or lifestyle or the way to go about things, right? We're just, getting up, going in the car, and just driving down the road, not worrying about any ice, any snow, any gloom. SoCal baby. Arnold Schwarzenegger's character misses his son's recital for a purple belt, and the kid's pissed, the wife's pissed. What could he do to make up for it? As we know in the beginning of the film, we see Turbo Man. That's what we start with, and that's what we end with. What a way to start and end the film, right? To end it and to start it into something that we all relate to, right? And I love toys. When I was a kid, man, dude, this film was all right, just so you know, this is not a great film. It's not. It's a crappy film. But it does its best to make it good, because you got Arnold playing not only just a father figure, but like, we see him as this person who is just desperate and determined to get a Turbo Man for his son, to make up for just the times that he missed, in his son's life. And he doesn't want to miss any more of them, especially at the fact you got Phil Hartman's character who plays a neighbor, and you can tell he's pervy and wants Arnold's wife in the movie. It's not that he wants him, but like, he's divorced, he has a kid, and all the other neighbor wives or the neighbor females are just like, they love him, dude. They love him because he just does nice things for them. And there's innuendos there that obviously when you're looking at it as a kid, you don't really understand it. And even as an adult, when you look at it, you're like, did those two hook up? Did they hook up? Did he? Did they? I don't know. We don't know. But that's what's great about it in a sense, because we never know, it builds up some suspense, it builds up the mystery to this character, and like, is this guy really a scumbag? Is he really gonna try to get with Arnold's wife? Like, I don't know. We don't know. That's not the whole point of the film, but that is a good like plot, like subplot right there. But Arnold thinking that getting this exclusive toy of the year was going to be easy, and it certainly isn't, because he joins other adults who are getting gifts for their loved ones, and I'm pretty sure the majority of them are trying to get that Turbo Man though. And you meet it with Sinbad, who plays a disgruntled postal worker. I liked his role as the postal worker. I mean, he is goofy, but at the same time, he lets us know, man. And obviously it's from the screenwriter's point of view, but he lets us know as a character, like, hey man, I'm not with this, man. I'm just trying to do this the same reason that you're doing it, just to like reap for my mistakes, But it's funny because, like, do you really gotta buy a toy for your kid to basically tell them not only I'm sorry, but like, hey, I can come through? That's such a big responsibility, man. And it's not like it's easy. It's not like it's hard to do, but like sometimes you're kind of asking for the impossible, like, but you're a kid, dude. When you're a kid, dude, you think everything's attainable. Anything's attainable, right? And obviously as you grow up, you slowly start to realize that, every opportunity that you get, it's probably not going to go well, and not that this movie was like putting us into that field, right? To whether, hey man, you're a kid, as you grow up, you're going to soon realize that, hey man, you're not going to get everything you want. You're just not. Watch, man, when you grow up to become an adult, when your kid wants his Turbo Man or his Power Ranger or his Pokemon Charizard Shadowless First Edition, you're going to find out that, hey, like, maybe I should teach my kids other types of, upbringings of sorts, right? Especially when it comes to Christmas and consumerism. But I enjoyed the film because we get to see toys. And I guess when I'm reviewing this, I'm being very nostalgic. But like when you look at it as a kid, even if whether you grew up in the 90s or not, you get to see toys, you get to see mall, you get to see like Legoland inside the Mall of America. Oh man, even the Mall of America, like to see it in the 90s, and I've never been there. I'd like to go there one day, but you get to see a mall that has so many floors, and it has an amusement park inside. That's almost like every kid's dream, right? At least every materialistic kid's dream, right? It was fun to see all kinds of toys. It's fun to see the toy stores. It's fun to see people like trying to get the toy, Sinbad, like I said, we don't know if he's a good guy or a bad guy, but we know this. He is just trying to make his kid happy. And obviously, being a postal worker, especially in the time of Christmas, man, like that's the last job you want to have, But you got to do what you got to do. Much like how Arnold needs to do what he has to do to make sure that his son can look up to him, even though it's materialism. What can I say? What can they say? They just got to do it, And then you got the wife too. Like, hey man, you know what? Do this for our son this one time, and then I'll even forgive you because, hey man, like, you're not the only one who you are neglecting, and it sucks, man. It sucks that, especially in America, that we have to like overwork ourselves to kind of get what we want, or not to kind of get what we want, but to maintain our lifestyle, We work a lot, we work too hard, and sometimes we don't even get a thanks for the hard work that we do. We only get a thanks when we show presence, and it shouldn't be that way, obviously. For this film, obviously, that's the whole goal. When you look at it from an adult's point of view, not a really good lesson, But you do what you can, and that's kind of like the whole point. You just got to do what you can, whether you agree with it or not. You just got to do what you can, and you never know, man. Like, you just get appreciated for it, I love the film. It's very adventurous, even for Arnold being so adventurous, like trying to chase kids down for a little ball that has a number on it so he can like be in the raffle to get the toy. It's not even like to even get the toy, period. It's just to be a part of the raffle amongst other consumers. It's wild, man. I gotta give it to Arnold, man. Like him playing that type of dad, it's great. I sort of wish he can do another role like that. But then again, when you look at him do that role, it's like, whoa, dude, he really like sort of jumped the shark in a way, you know. I would give this film 3 out of 4 tokes. I was thinking of giving it 2.5, but it's a cheesy ass film. It's meant to be enjoyed. The plot's not there, but like honestly, it's balanced enough where we get the good, the bad, and the ugly of the Christmas season, especially the Christmas Eve and the Christmas Day. To see Arnold play Turbo Man at the third act of the film, and we get to see the point of view of how show business works for a parade. Even when I was a kid looking at that, I was just like, dude, that's amazing. Like, you know, it's all underground, dark, and mysterious. Like, we don't know what's going to happen, you know? And you get to see the parade, too. You get to see all kinds of other brands out there, other references to, you know, our youth, to what's relevant at that time, like Snoopy, stuff like that, Power Rangers. You get to see it, and you're like, whoa, man, like, we get to see Christmas on screen. That's pretty cool. The feud between Arnold and Sinbad is great. Two people trying to go at it for the same reason, you know. And it's funny because there's a scene earlier in the film where Sinbad's like, hey, man, like, you and me are alike. And then Arnold's like, I don't know about that, dude. But they kind of are, man. I mean, they're dads, for one, you know. And I kind of didn't like how they try to make Sinbad's character sort of like the deadbeat dad character. I mean, that's what it's not that it was said, but it kind of puts him in that place. And I mean, you see him there. You don't really see him as a deadbeat, but you do see him as an asshole, you know? And everybody's an asshole during that time. When you're shopping, trying to get the last minute gift, yeah, you better hope you don't break a couple of skulls, you know, to get that gift. 3 out of 4 tokes. Watch this film. It's the film that was made for Americans to see. The film that was made for 90s kids to see, like, period. Like, if you're a 90s kid, you hadn't seen this film, you're going to watch it. You're going to probably enjoy this film, too. And you get to see, honestly, you get to see all sides of Christmas. And that's kind of like the most balanced thing about this film. Favorite shots of this film. Honestly, I like the shot where the cop who has his hands, like, covered in, like, white bandages or whatnot, you know, gets the coffee being poured onto him. And, like, even though you don't, like, the coffee's being poured onto him, and obviously it's fake, right? Like, it has to be fake, you know. You're just not going to burn a fake cop's hand, right? But I like how effective that little shot was, because you can hear the burn because they had the sound effect, right? You can hear the burn, but you can also see just the anger in this cop that, man, dude, if you weren't a blockbuster superstar, I would beat your ass right now, dude. And I like the feud between the cop and Arnold, man, because it just gets worse. And that's the thing about this film, too. Like, I like the suspense. I like how it just builds up constantly. You know, the stakes get higher and higher. Things don't seem to work out for the Arnold character too much. And that's what we want to see, because we want to see a point where we see him at his lowest, you know, even almost lower than his son giving him crap in the first act of the film. It's like it just gets deep. So because of that, it does get those 3 out of 4 tokes. As cheesy as the last shot was in this film, especially when the son says, that's my dad, seeing his dad be Turbo Man, and obviously, like, that's all he cares about. But, like, dude, you get to see Arnold get picked up by people, and I don't know why, man, when I see that shot, or that, like, that whole minute right before it just goes to the credits, man, it's almost like an end of an era of sorts, you know? Especially for the Arnold, because, like, after that film, he did not make any family roles. You know, he did not make any more family type films, you know? It was back to the action, back to the adventure, back to being on it. And, you know, the badass that he usually is in his other films like Terminator, Terminator 2, Eraser, Last Action Hero. all those films, even the films after the 2000s, and you don't want Christmas to end. And when you see that last shot, to me, it's like Christmas is done. Christmas, even though this film came out, like, obviously, like a little over a month before Christmas, it's like, man, Christmas is over. That's it. And not only that, my youth is being called into question. Not that I noticed it then, but when you look at it, it's like, whoa, dude, like, I was 6 growing up, and later to become 10, and, you start to forget about toys, start to forget about what you want, and you just get what you get, and that's it. Follow me on Morning Shot Films, IG and YouTube. Check out my YouTube at Morning Shot Films. Follow my website, morningshotfilms.co. I got a couple of films coming out the next couple of days before the 31st. I don't think I have a film to review for the 31st. If you haven't watched or listened to the review I did for the 31st, I actually reviewed New Year's Eve. Yeah, dude. New Year's Eve. If you haven't seen it, check it out. I really don't know what to put out. I know I'm going to put out Killers of the Flower Moon and maybe like another one. I just can't tell you. It'll be a surprise. But I am excited for next year for the films that I'm going to review. Got a couple of gems, a couple of horrible gems. I want to review The Room. I haven't reviewed that film, and I think it's time. Thank you.